Margaret Koolman here of Soul Astrology. This new moon is in Libra. Libra is about the balance and harmony that enables life to continue. There's a desire for complete comfortableness, not rocking the boat. But the scales of life are always moving, and the place of perfect balance is something we pass from time to time. So Libra spends much of its time searching for how to achieve that balance. It can be an uncomfortable place in anybody's chart, but without it we would hardly be able to relate to each other at all. The qualities of Libra are ruled by the energy of Venus, and in this chart Venus in Virgo is making a beautiful, almost exact connection to Mercury, a sextile, one side of a hexagon, the strongest of the shapes, showing that they are supporting each other, working together really well. With Mercury, our consciousness, our communications in Scorpio, showing up the depths of our true feelings. It's a beautiful thing to have Venus working with it. In a way, especially in Virgo, because Virgo's desire is to improve life. Virgo's desire is to serve people, especially with Venus there. So that perhaps the flavour of this coming month will be on getting to the bottom of things in order to make things better, rather than just airing one's problems. A difficulty could be with the square relationship Venus has to Jupiter in Gemini, that we actually aim for too many words, that we try a bit too hard to make light of things, when really Scorpio is looking at things that are not light. Trying to look through the difficulties, you have to look at the difficulties first, and then hopefully be penetrating them with love and care and kindness in order to see the light through it. This tendency to perhaps be a little too light-hearted on occasion is emphasized by the Mars being in Sagittarius, a lovely place to have the energy of our movement and direction. It's about fun, it's about exploring. It's about trying to understand the bigger picture, the reasons behind things. It is an energy rather than the way our minds will be working. But it could move on too quickly from difficult situations, shouldering them aside in a way, because they're not exciting enough, interesting enough. The way it could manifest, and could be a very valuable manifestation, is if we use its beautiful connection, its smooth flow to Uranus, in appropriate moments. That could be the way that the Jupiter's too many words could be curtailed, shortened, where we focus on what's really important, getting to the bottom of things, doing the loving, sharing, kindness bit, and then just let it pass, move on. Sometimes a joke, sometimes just a smile, sometimes thinking of something that's happy-making within the situation. These could be quite startling on occasions, like suddenly realizing you're in the wrong place and that it's time you moved. Mars also has an uncomfortable connection to the Neptune and Chiron, which tends to show up in a character who has it as being almost oversensitive to people's feelings. But Saturn, who's now in Scorpio, making sure we pay attention to these deeper issues, has a lovely connection to those two, the Neptune and Chiron. So I suspect that the things that rise, that perhaps the Sagittarian energy would perhaps rather not look at, are actually all spiritually required, necessary lessons for the next step on the path. So let us not fight with circumstances. Find a fun way of doing what you've got to do. This lovely connection between Mercury and Venus continues as they travel at more or less the same speed at the moment. So that when we get to the full moon, the moon itself being then in Taurus at the 29th of October, the Sun in Scorpio joining Saturn, Mercury and Venus will have moved into Sagittarius and Libra, so that although some of the difficult issues that may have arisen are what we've decided to focus on and deal with, we should find that we're able to talk about them quite lightly. That having committed ourselves to going for the jugular of our difficulties, there is actually quite a lot of fun in it. It is an adventure that we're on, approaching new situations, circumstances we've not met before perhaps, dealing with things in a new way. Once the commitment to that is made, the journey itself can be a wonderful adventure, an exploration of the unknown. So the full moon and the first half of November could be a natural, productive following on from this new moon. In order for this following on to be reliable, we will, in this first half of November, need to continually ask what is required by life, following the directions of Saturn, rather than galloping off with an assumption that it'll all be okay. Mercury will have entered Sagittarius, and that will put it at right angles to Neptune. The possibility of making errors in judgment if we go too quickly, are too Pollyanna about life, too optimistic about events. So positivity by all means, even to the point of changing one's mind about directions, but always having that sense of asking for guidance. Saturn remains for this whole month in a really good connection with Neptune. Spiritual guidance is still very strong. Breathe from your heart, allowing your chest to open and the rosy light of love to flow out and around you. As your love spills out, let the tears overflow from you like a river to join the salty sea of humanity. The beauty of connectedness is impossible to feel without the hurt and pain of suffering. Who are we to try and stand apart? Know that the scales hold light and dark, pain yet also joy. Let the strength of your determined spine hold up the scales that hang in balance from the star above your head. Hold the left and the right in your open hands and relax into your life with a smile.